In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Crypto fam, it is Monday night. How was your weekend? I'll tell you what, mine was freaking fantastic. Had a lot of family stuff going on, which, some of it rough, some of it great. And all I can say is that ETH Gang, ETH Gang, right? That's my ETH Gang. That's my ETH Gang sign. So hopefully YouTube doesn't kill me for that. Miguel, what was the Bitcoin gang sign you had a minute ago? he says he's trying to watch all the altcoins from so
no,
far
that's
up
the other one.
above.
That's the other one.
Oh, that's the other one.
That's the other one. With my binoculars, I'm watching all you altcoins from all the way down there. How does it feel to be all the way down there? I remember when I was down there at 4,000. Such a long time ago.
So yeah, guys, as you can tell, super excited about the market. We've got ETH all-time high, and so the stream is, and actually Bitcoin hit all-time highs again too. I don't know what it's doing right this second, but ETH hit all-time high. Right, we've got on the ETH gear, and yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. So listen, if you are in the live chat, X out of the live chat for 2 seconds, smash up the likes. It literally is like the hardest thing to get people just to exit out for just a second, and then come right back. So we appreciate it. I want to throw out there for anybody that's watching from TikTok, or if you're in here and you're not subscribed, we are giving away 500, not $5, not 50, but $500. We're going to be giving that away 2 days or 1 day. It's either going to be Christmas Eve or 2 days before Christmas for anybody that to be eligible. You just need to be subscribed to the show. Debate Crypto, obviously YouTube, you know where you're at because you're in here. TikTok, make sure you guys are subscribed. Just want to throw that out there. Miguel,
just want to say that that's a better investment than any meme coin you can invest in. It costs you nothing, zero risk, and the potential is $500.
Zero risk, and listen, you can't even say it's a 500x because it's more than that, right? Because you're not even putting in $1. So at any event, risk zero, gain 500, or risk zero and gain knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean,
win-win. Regardless, you're winning.
It's a win. It's a win. So yeah, guys, we appreciate every single one of you. I know that's a little bit of a lengthy intro, but we just want to let you guys know we freaking appreciate you. So welcome to Debate Crypto. Miguel, what do we have on the podium this evening?
ETH Gang, right? ETH is burning. It's burning hot. And we're going to be covering what's going on with ETH, what are the price targets for ETH, and how much ETH is really out there right now after this ETH burn from EIP 1559.
Yeah, let's kick it off, Miguel. Let's go ahead and kick it off with a little bit of technical analysis to talk about where we are. All right, so we've got $5,000 knocking on the door as ETH sets new all-time high. Okay, so we can see the chart right here, right? Just a little example of the chart. We've got higher highs, higher lows. We are moving, and we are in price discovery mode, right? Because we have never been quite so high. The key support's at $4,354. The key resistance is up at $5,075. Now, side note, that resistance level is just following a trend. We actually have never been there, right? So we will see how that plays out. But after a short-lived correction last week, ETH found good support at 43.54 and rallied to set a new all-time high today. Let's go, ETH gang. The weekend volume was low, but today the bulls kept the price on the uptrend and pushed higher as bears seemed to be absent from the market. The key resistance at $5,075 remains the most likely battlefield for the next encounter between the bulls and the bears. ETH price technical indicators, trading volume. Now, guys, this is just we're going to do a quick little segment here because we are doing technical analysis. We've got a lot of new people in the stream. If you are subscribing, you know 2 things that we want to do. We want to educate you, and we want to help you then with that education set up a game plan. So trading volume, let's talk about some technical indicators. Trading volume. So we saw a weak volume over the weekend. However, today the bulls came on strong and pushed ETH up higher. This is an excellent momentum that might take ETH to $5,000. So momentum, volume is huge, right? Volume tells you how much is this asset being traded. If it's being traded a lot, right? Big volume is usually a good sign, right? And that will push the prices exponentially higher, or hold the prices lower, or it gives us a good indication if we're at like a deadlock but with a lot of volume. It tells you a lot about the market and the temperature, basically a temperature check of that. RSI, which is the relative strength index, continues to remain just under 70 points, just under the 70 points level on the daily time frame, and may break above at any moment. This indicates a strong bullish trend. Ultimately, guys, the relative strength index does actually show you that, the strength of the market. I'm not going to get into all of the little details there. But basically, if we are above 70, that generally means that people are buying like crazy, and it can actually stay up there for a while. But that's generally a technical indicator to say, hey, look, we might have a turnaround at some point. If we are below, what is it, Miguel? Below 30? Is it 20 or 30?
Below 30. Below 30
Below
is
30.
oversold, and above 70 is overbought.
Yeah. So that would be, like a trend reversal basically at those numbers generally. Then the MACD, which is the moving average convergence divergence, the histogram on the daily time frame is bullish, and a bearish cross appears unlikely unless ETH is sharply rejected at the 5,075 resistance. However, the histogram is signaling a bearish divergence. Therefore, best be on guard for that. So what's the short-term price prediction? ETH is very close to setting new record-breaking price of $5,000. The momentum is there, and this can happen at any time, right? It looks increasingly possible for the cryptocurrency to take a stab at this level, and it might happen at any moment. I want to reiterate, guys, one thing. Miguel, switch it back off of there for me, would you? ETH Gang, ETH Gang, right? That's my gang sign for ETH, guys. I am super bullish on ETH. I'm looking forward to seeing 5K. I still see a lot of upside coming. Miguel, thoughts on what we're seeing with ETH and ETH? I mean, obviously you can touch on Bitcoin as well, but what are your thoughts on what we're seeing today?
So it was only a matter of time before Ethereum started to make these blow off moves. So for the simple fact that we're going to be covering soon is, since the upgrade of EIP 1559, Ethereum has been burning and burning and burning and burning. And at the same time, people are getting ready for Ethereum 2.0, and they've been accumulating, and staking, accumulating, staking, locking up that ETH. There is less and less ETH. We've covered it before on the show. Ethereum has hit, I believe, a 2-year low on exchanges a couple of weeks ago, a 2-year low. People don't understand what that means. That means it is more and more difficult to find ETH. At the level that ETH is being burned right now, it's actually deflationary. EIP 1559 isn't made for Ethereum to be deflationary. It's supposed to be kind of a supply crunch, right? A supply shock kind of effect, not to make it deflationary. But so much ETH is being burned with all the volume of transactions happening on it. It is currently actually running deflationary. So therefore, meaning we are burning more ETH than what is being mined right now.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that, guys, is two things. As much as I talk trash about the meme coins, right? That and NFTs are both creating this situation on top of EIP 1559, which is what's ultimately burning those transaction fees. It's set us up to put us into a position where we are ultimately taking those deflationary. What's the word I'm looking for? Deflationary. Wow, if I could talk, that would be fantastic. It's a deflationary
aspect, deflationary.
Yeah. There you go. That'll work. I don't think that's what I was looking for, but deflationary aspect of ETH, and it's actually turning it deflationary, which is freaking huge. It is huge supply and demand, and ultimately, what's happening? We have a crazy amount of demand, and the supply is getting to be less and less and less. If you guys think for 1 second that ETH isn't going to touch some wild numbers, the only way that it doesn't touch some wild numbers this year, this cycle, is if we have something absolutely black swanish happen out of nowhere.
Yeah, maybe a solar flare or something like that. But outside of that, we got a good question in the chat right now, and since we're on it, let's cover it.
Yeah.
Right? They're saying, can you explain ETH doesn't have a max supply, therefore more can be made? So we're talking about this right now, right? We're talking about it being deflationary, and yes, Ethereum does not have a max supply, so it can infinitely create Ethereum forever, and that is one of the reasons why they have created the upgrade to reduce the amount of Ethereum that exists out there by, limiting the supply at some point, creating a shock to the supply. But now there's so much transaction, so much volume happening, and so much ETH being burned that now there's more ETH being burned than being produced. So currently we are not producing enough Ethereum to keep up with the demand. Therefore, we are seeing negative numbers in Ethereum supply actually dwindling down, which is crazy.
Yeah, and ultimately, I mean, ETH was created to basically enable the developers to build and publish smart contracts, right? And dApps, right? Distributed applications. Yeah. So ultimately, this is not in a lot of aspects. You're going to look at a coin or a token, and you're going to say, "Wait a minute, unlimited supply? Nah, next." Or at least I will, right? But this actually has a purpose, and we are fighting against that. You will never hear somebody put out an argument on that, because ultimately there is a reason that it is being created, and the numbers at which is being created versus what's being burnt, and then moving over to proof of stake soon as well. Things are ultimately changing, and they're changing for the better. No doubt. Eric says, ETH FUD, I'm dumping. That's super funny.
Yeah, I just told them good luck.
Yeah, no doubt. We definitely there's no FUD going on right now. You can ultimately just see that we are running. And let's actually jump into that. This next article, 800,000 ETH burned since EIP 1559, right?
That's
so
wild.
Nice big picture of fire, right? The Ethereum blockchain has burned around $3.8 billion worth of Ether, more than 800,000 ETH since the implementation of EIP 1559, which has likely contributed to the ongoing rally for the second largest crypto asset. Let me touch on this quick, right?
Quick sec.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that upgrade happened in August. That was what, 3 months ago? And we've burned 3.8 billion.
To a little bit over 2 months ago. Right?
Yeah.
Not even.
Imagine what that's going to be like by the next bull cycle, 2025. How much ETH will be burned between now and then?
Yep. Yeah, it literally, it says August of 2021, EIP 1559, which is Ethereum Improvement Proposal, right? Which is what EIP stands for. Also called the London Hard Fork, introduced the concept of burning a portion of the gas fee for all Ethereum transactions. It was introduced to stabilize the volatility of transaction fees on Ethereum. However, it also added a deflationary mechanism, which was the word I was looking for a little bit ago,
there you go,
to its native asset, ETH. Since the implementation and for all activity on the network, more than 800,000 ETH has been burned per the latest data. This means that nearly $3 billion has been taken out of the supply. Furthermore, 9909 ETH, right? 9,909 ETH, or about 47 million, was burned just in the last 24 hours, according to ultrasound.money, a website tracking this specific metric. Notably, ETH, the second largest cryptocurrency and native token used to pay for all transactions on Ethereum, the very blockchain that underpins the majority of value locked in DeFi, decentralized finance. The sustained gas fee burn and high demand for ETH across hundreds of dApps, which is decentralized apps, support the argument that the asset has become a good store of value, or, quote, ultrasound money, according to its founder, Vitalik Buterin. EIP 1559 also became a major catalyst for ETH's rally over the last few months. Notably, the asset has been up around 59%, and it ultimately may surpass the milestone target of 5,000 within November. However, ETH still has a long way to go to address its scalability issues. The high fees and slow transactions on Ethereum have known to hamper user experience. Now, these issues have reportedly contributed to the rise and adoption of other layer 1 blockchains like Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Phantom, and Cosmos. Several layer 2 solutions have found significant adoption as well to mitigate high gas fees. Let me touch on this real quick. Layer 2, right? So ultimately the end of this article, right? FUD. ETH has still a long way to go to address its scalability issues. Now, is it actually a fact? Sure. Yeah, it's very true. But we have answers for this. We have Polygon, which is the most well-known, Polygon Matic, right? And ultimately what that does is it addresses the speed and scalability and the amount of money, right, that you spend to process a transaction. So the Polygon is a token, right, that's built on top of the Ethereum blockchain, right, on top of the Ethereum network. All right. A token, again, for those of you that are learning, a token is built upon another blockchain. A coin, right, is going to be ETH on its native blockchain, right? So ETH on Ethereum, Polygon on Ethereum, but ETH Ethereum coin, Polygon Ethereum token. Just want to throw that out there. There's already answers for it. Yes, there's always going to be competitors, but I will just leave it at this. I believe that competition breeds excellence. If we didn't have any competition, Miguel, as far as the YouTube space, the TikTok space, any of that, well, I mean, listen, this is not my nature, but how easy would it be for us to start taking days off? Don't worry about it, bro. And I mean, what are they going to do? Catch us or what? You know what I mean? It's like it does breed a little bit of laziness if you don't have that competition. So I think it is actually a very good thing that the other Solana, et cetera, are there.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And I also take this competitor, right? They're trying to throw out these competitors out there like they're a threat to Ethereum somehow. They've also claimed that Bitcoin has died like over like 1,000 times, right? It's the same concept, but for ETH. Another Ethereum killer, watch out, Ethereum's in danger. Yep. No, it's not, right? Yep. Ethereum is the sugar mama of all altcoins, and they ain't going nowhere, right? They all got to pay their dues. They can all try to compete, but she runs the house of the altcoins, right? She is not going to go anywhere, and she's not going to go down without a fight. So I don't take these competitors serious enough to say they're going to dethrone Ethereum anytime soon. The competition is good. I welcome it. I don't shy away from it. I like Solana, I like what they're doing. I don't like their centralized aspects of it. And, we've seen some of the billionaires behind Solana talking about how they're pumping it. And, all these other coins, the smaller the market cap, the easier it is to be manipulated by institutions. And institutions are just trying to make ground with these newer coins to try to compete with Ethereum, to try to take control of the space. But Ethereum is too far ahead in the game.
The reality is, and I want to look at it this way: you have Apple, and what would you say Apple's biggest competitor is? Microsoft, Samsung. Oh, well, yes, in that. Okay, yeah, okay. So Apple and Samsung, are they both like absolutely fabulous products? Sure. Yep. Do they both overall have a lot of similarities of things that they do and the problems that they solve and what they provide? Sure. But do you think Samsung or Apple is just going to go away because they have a competitor? No.
Exactly.
Absolutely not. And so at the end of the day, it's the same type of idea. I don't know why in the crypto space we have this idea that anything that's a competitor is a killer. Like it's always been a crypto thing, right? It's always been when Bitcoin, what's going to be the Bitcoin killer, right? What's going to be, it was there was the Tron killer at one point. Tron was the ETH killer at one point back in 2017.
Tron, EOS, exactly. So many others.
Yep. And so I just want to remind you guys that competition is healthy, and we are
competition makes it stronger, solidifies you even for a longer period of time, right? Yep. Same thing happened with Samsung and Apple. They solidify themselves to continually staying at the top of the game and demolishing everybody else.
Yep.
So I see Bobby in the comments. She said, if Bitcoin is digital gold, I think ETH is digital silver. In actuality, I think ETH is digital oil.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
digital silver,
Keeps
because
everything moving.
it keeps everything moving. Everything
Yep.
runs on Ethereum, right?
Yep.
NFTs, DeFi, all kinds of dApps, all kinds of games, all these other tokens that are being built on Ethereum. So Ethereum is the fuel that keeps everything running. So I think it's digital oil.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I'm actually just double checking right now, just so we can get a live look here.
Live look at the
We
price.
are at 47.95. Let me update this again. Yeah, 47.95. I'm gonna pull up Trading View real quick. Oh, I didn't even share my screen, so I'm just gonna look at it real quick while I'm just gonna take a peek here at the hourly, see what we got going on. I'm gonna zoom in here. Yeah, I mean, we ultimately are up.
I can share my screen actually. I can share my screen real quick. Show the technicals.
Show the people what they want to see.
Yeah. Just give me a second trying to find the tab. I have 100 million tabs open.
Yes, you do. It is the most annoying thing I think ever.
It is the greatest thing ever.
I would not be able to be in the same household as you, sitting down at the same computer. I would throw that computer screen across the freaking room.
Here it is. Here it is.
No doubt.
So right. Let me know.
Give it to me, Big Daddy. Go ahead.
Here it is, right? So this is the Ethereum, on the 1 hour chart, obviously. We're seeing it here. We're seeing the EMA lines, right? We're finding support on this 20 EMA line. So that's good. All the EMA lines are above the 200 EMA. So they're all in a very bullish stance. Volume is not the highest at the current 1 hour right now, but
yeah, but it's also, it's 10. What is it? 10 o'clock at night right now?
Yeah, it's 9:30 right now. Yeah. The MACD is bearish right now, right? We are in a bearish territory. The MACD histogram, you see that is deep red, so it still has some way to go, and it has it's heading south, right? It's heading south away from the red line. The MACD needs to cross the blue line, needs to cross the red line to be bullish. So that is currently what we're seeing in the 1 hour. We're seeing a small retracement, right? The RSI here as well, very, very high right now, right? Where we just came down from 72. We just came down. We're pulling down now. We're at like about 64 right now. So we are up on the higher end of the RSI. Therefore, expecting a pullback in the 1 hour to 4 hour wouldn't be a big surprise. So we jump out to the 4 hour. The 4 hour RSI is still above the 70.
Oh, yeah.
So but look at the MACD though. The MACD is looking very bullish. But you're starting to see that it's starting to roll over, right? We're starting to see that rolling over aspect happening. But that's what you need. That's what you can expect from the RSI being so overbought right now. Let's zoom out to the daily. So on the daily, the MACD is still good, right? Had a recent bounce off the red line. The green is still strong, but the RSI is also here hitting this upper band of 70. So we could be expecting a pullback.
Guys, go ahead.
On the weekly, this is the last thing to look at on the weekly here. Look how many weekly green candles we've had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are on the 5th week of bullish momentum for Ethereum.
And pause right there, Miguel. I want to explain this for the new people, right? We want to explain candlesticks for a second, right? Just to make this really simple. He's got it on the weekly. If you look at the green candlesticks, the ones that he just pointed at, so Miguel pointed those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 5 green candlesticks in a row, right? We are on the weekly time frame. That means, and they're green, right? That means that we have been moving upward. The prices have been getting higher every single week. When the week closes out, last week we closed out higher. This week, the week before, closed out higher than the next week. So on and so forth. Obviously, red is bad. Green is good, just to make it really simple. And then as we change those time frames, every single one of those candlesticks is going to represent a minute, an hour, 4 hours, 16 hours. They've got literally anything and everything that you can imagine. Technical analysis isn't art. Miguel might see something that someone else doesn't, or vice versa. But the reality is, technical analysis is all about saying, okay, here's a pattern. And generally, statistically, when this pattern shows, here is what happens.
Exactly.
And that, just like anything else, is a bunch of people agreeing on an idea, and then they obviously take
Yeah.
that.
Just
And
like if you were in the Debate Crypto Academy earlier today, I posted there's a cup and handle that has formed in Ethereum, and Ethereum has broken out. The target for that cup and handle is $6,600. That's the target for that cup and handle. Not everyone's talking about that cup and handle because maybe some people don't see it. So not everybody sees the same thing when it comes to technical analysis, but it is there. And I showed it to the Debate Crypto Academy earlier today.
Yeah. Ultimately, if the longer wick is above the body of the candle, price tends to move down. It's basically saying that somebody asked
There's
in the
selling
chat.
pressure.
Yeah, so basically it's jumping up, right? So basically what's happening is the price is coming up, and then it's getting pressed back down, because ultimately, whatever that time frame is, if that time frame is an hour, let's use an hour for an example, that wick says, hey, at the highest point during this hour, it got all the way up to here, but when the hour closed out, it was all the way down here. So you got this huge wick and just a little candle body. That means that it jumped and it tried, but the selling pressure pushed it back down.
Yeah.
Conversely, right, if the longer wick is below the body of the candle, right, then price tends to move up. It means that the bears tried to push it down, but it bounced back to the upside. I hope that helps, guys. We are all about education. I really hope that
take it into consideration in those two examples, right? If the wick is above and the body of the candle is smaller, the candle can still be green, but this is an indication of a bearish thing, even though the candle is green. That means that the next candle coming up, whatever time frame you're on, you should probably be expecting a red candle, because we're probably going to see some more selling pressure. Not guaranteed. Doesn't always happen, but it's it's something to look out for, and vice versa, right? You might have a wick at the bottom and a small body candle at the top, and the candle might be red, might be red, but the next candle is most likely going to be green. Not guaranteed, like I said before, but that's what you would expect.
Crypto fam, just want to throw this out there. If you are looking for more education, like the education that you're getting right now, and you want a little bit more of a personalized touch with that, we have debatecrypto.academy. Okay. If you're in TikTok, it's the links in my bio. If you're here in YouTube, debatecrypto.academy, that's the website. We've got a couple different options. We are ultimately right now, just want to throw this out there. If you get in the all-in right now, the all-in package, it's $50 a month, right? You're going to get the Bitcoin standard for free. And then every single week, not every single month, I'm talking every single week, we do a seminar, right? So we do 4 seminars a month. We've just switched over just recently now to where we're doing open forum on 3 of those, where you can jump in if you are a member, if you are part of what we call the DCA fam, debatecrypto.academy fam, you can jump in there and take advantage of between the two of us, 10 years worth of experience here in the crypto space. We will answer any questions that we can. We would love to have you guys come join the fam, debatecrypto.academy. So moving on, let's talk about why ETH supply shock, which we were just talking about, might be closer than we think. So Miguel, while Ethereum updates its all-time high day after day, there are numerous things happening in the background that might cause the so-called supply shock. Some analysts agree that it is already here and it's affecting the asset price. How supply shock affects the market. A supply shock is an unexpected rapid decrease in the supply of a product that directly impacts its price. There are 2 types of supply shock, negative and positive. In the case of Ethereum, the market is facing a negative supply, which causes asset prices to increase rapidly. In the case of a positive supply shock, the price of a product decreases. The main reason behind Ethereum supply shock is the implementation of the fee burning mechanism that has already led the burning of more than 800,000 ETH coins. With the demand for the coin continuously rising and the issuance progressively slowing down, the market faces a supply shock. Guys, well, actually, let me touch on this real quick. While fee burning directly impacts the available supply, indirect factors are also changing the position of Ethereum on the market. Additional factors include the number of coins in staking contracts, coins locked in DeFi, and exchange supply flow. Miguel, touch on that a little bit further, what we just talked about. So we've got the fees that are being burnt, right? But then it says indirect, such as positions or such as the number of coins being staked and then coins locked and DeFi. What does that mean? Why is that an issue or a good issue in this case?
Wait, why is it an issue?
Why is it a good thing for the price of Ethereum? Explain the staking and why a bunch of people are staking mainly right now,
Oh, okay.
and why
Yes,
a bunch of
yes.
stuff are locked up in DeFi. Why is that?
Yes, yes. So let me explain that. So basically, right, people are staking ETH because ETH is going to move from proof of work to proof of stake. Therefore, meaning the requirement is you need to have at least 32 Ethereum to be able to stake, right? I know you can use lending platforms with a lot less Ethereum and gain APY, but this is actual staking of the Ethereum, creating a node on the network to validate Ethereum's blockchain. You need to have 32 ETH minimum to do that. Every 30 every 32 ETH you have a new node, you lock that up, you're making some serious money on there, right? So with ETH being burned on one end and now people locking up ETH to get ready or accumulating ETH to get ready to lock it up when Ethereum 2.0 launches, Ethereum is becoming scarcer and scarcer on exchanges. Because nobody wants to sell their ETH. When you lock it up to make it a node to stake, it's not like you have it in your wallet and you can sell it at a snap of a finger. It's locked up. So it is a different process. And people are getting prepared for that. People understand what value that will bring to their coins, and they believe in the Ethereum blockchain. So therefore, they're willing to have their Ethereum held there long-term because they are long-term investors, and they know that the value of the assets will appreciate with time. So that is what's happening with the staking and why people are locking up Ethereum, which is causing Ethereum to become even scarcer in creating a price bump. Supply and demand.
And so it is simple to supply and demand, but we almost have what I would consider to be a perfect storm, right? We had IP 1559 happening, right, or just happened in August. And then moving forward, we're looking forward to ETH 2.0. It's just, and so ultimately we're getting a supply shock and people, and smart contracts all over the place with NFTs, right? DeFi, there is so much liquidity locked. There's so much ETH locked on top of the fact that we are burning like crazy.
Yeah, all that demand.
Mistake. I mean, it is literally a perfect freaking storm.
Yeah, the storm of demand, right? Way more demand than what Ethereum's supply is currently at. And we're seeing a deflationary mechanism happen, being triggered. We're burning more Ethereum than ever. And now we're losing less Ethereum on exchanges. Ethereum exchanges, I've said it before earlier, is at a 2-year low. 2-year low, guys.
Yeah, it actually goes further in the article here. It says currently more than 8.2 million Ethereum are being locked in the DeFi contract, which can be considered an illiquid supply that cannot be used urgently by the market. Let me touch on what that means, okay? So basically we have 8.2 million Ethereum that are locked up in decentralized finance contracts, right? What they're saying by it being illiquid supply, it's saying, hey, look, this is locked up in a smart contract. This a smart contract says, computer code says if then. Well, guess what? A whole bunch of ETH is locked up if then in that type of a scenario, right? And so because of that, it's considered an illiquid part of the supply. People can't just get to it and all of a sudden dump it out onto the open market, which again is another bullish piece of momentum, right? At the same time, more than 8 million coins are also not included in, but also locked in staking contracts. Guys, this is a perfect freaking storm. So a supply squeeze seems more probable since the staking contract hit 8.2 million ETH. We've got over 8 million ETH locked in DeFi. And since October 1st, more than 860,000 ETH have left centralized exchanges, decreasing the supply available. And when you see ETH, Bitcoin, any asset leaving, when you see it leaving uh, the exchanges. That means that people are putting it somewhere, right? And as a general rule, when I'm pulling ETH off of an exchange, what do you think I'm doing with it? I'm putting it into a hardware wallet. I am taking control of, I am being my own bank, right? And that ultimately, as you're in the crypto space more and more and more, becomes a very important key to what we're trying to do in the crypto space as a whole. And ETH, man, I tell you what, there's a reason that this is my girlfriend, right? She literally just does all of the right things, right? And at the right time too, I'm going to tell you. So I am super freaking excited. I couldn't be more bullish. And there's just a lot going on here.
So after all this talking about ETH, let's give the people what they want, right? They're all here for one question and one question only. And nobody's asked it. Nobody's asked it, but I know it because I know it. Will Ethereum make you a millionaire? Yes or no? Yes or no? And if yes, what is the math? I know you got the Rain Man math. Drop it like it's hot. What's the Rain Man math to become a Ethereum millionaire?
I mean, basically right now you need to have, I'm pretty familiar with this too, by the way, you need to have about 208 ETH, I believe is the number.
To be a millionaire at
these
new all-time highs? At this current price. No. But like for the end of the bull run, right? Let's say 8 to 10K, 8 to 10K ETH. Okay. How much ETH do you need to get
10K ETH says you have to have 100 ETH, right? 10K ETH says 100 ETH. That ultimately sounds like this crazy number, but let me tell you, as you get these opportunities, this is why we need to be looking at bear markets as opportunities. Guys, most of the ETH that I bought was around $200, okay? And I just want to throw out there that the reality is, when I bought it at that, it still felt like I was spending, because I was spending a lot of money overall, right? But I gotta tell you, damn, I'm happy I did, right? And so ultimately, all I want to say is that the bear market is there. It is your friend. It is going to feel very, I don't know. I guess it depends on what your conviction level is as it relates to crypto. Even with my just all in attitude, the fact that I'm willing to take risk, the fact that I ultimately knew that I didn't know where this was headed, it was still tough, right? Even though I believe, right? But I just want to give you guys this encouragement that if you can get into something that you truly believe in, you will be able to hold out. You will be able to diamond hand, as everyone says, and you will be able to become a millionaire. It's just a matter of time. Listen, you're talking about right now.
So you need 100. You need 100 ETH at 10K to be a millionaire.
Yeah,
this cycle.
But what the people need to hear, is that you really are only going to need to have 10 ETH, right? At the point that we get a few years down the road.
That's exactly where I was going to get to.
That is what really the people need to hear, right?
I was gonna sprinkle that moon boy math on there.
I don't even think it's moon math. I think the majority of people that are even and listen, I get people. Somebody said it earlier. He's bearish on ETH. He only thinks it's going to 10K. Guys, that is a freaking at 10K, right? We're at over $1 trillion of market cap. How can that be bearish, right? But that being said, most people that agree on anything as it relates to ETH will say by 2030, right? And this is a stretch, but by 2030, we'll be 100K plus.
Yes. So guys, right? For you guys hear 100 ETH. Oh man, that's impossible for me. I can't do it. Here's the math. 10 Ethereum. 10 10
ETH in 10 years.
10 ETH, right? Conservatively in 10 years. It could happen. It could happen in 2025.
1 ETH a year. Can you do it?
Do it. Not even that, right? By 2025, right? Most bullish scenarios are saying Bitcoin $1 million plus, Ethereum 80 to 100K by 2025 in 3 years. Yeah. If you can accumulate 10 Ethereum in the bear market when prices are depleted and you dollar cost average, right? The same way we dollar cost averaged at $100 ETH, you're going to be able to dollar cost average again, gain your 10 Ethereum. You could be financially setting yourself up to have $1 million between 2025 and 2030.
Think about
Later
it.
date 2030, earliest 2025.
Why not, guys? So basically, to make the math even more simple, right? $1 trillion puts ETH at about 10K. That's a rough number, right? So
Yep.
what that's saying is $10 trillion puts ETH at 100K. Let me say this. Gold is at $11 trillion right now. Okay. So you're like, wait a minute, ETH's going to flip gold. Well, the short answer is yes, it's going to, but ultimately you have to understand what ETH does. ETH has a utility. Like Miguel said earlier, ETH is that oil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Digital oil, baby.
yes, and that crude oil is what makes the gears turn, right? And so if you can understand that and understand that DeFi, even though it's being threatened right now by our government,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We lost Nick there for a second. So even though, right, I'm gonna finish off your thought, even though DeFi is being threatened right now by the government, we do have potential for Ethereum to continue growing. All right, you're back. You're back. They're trying to shut us out, bro. They're trying to shut us out. We're dropping too many truth bombs out here. So you were
But yeah,
saying,
no, I was just saying that our government can try to press against it. The reality is that even if they press really hard on it, the reality is we'll just go offshore. You're not stopping. The train is already moving. The train has left the station. The train has a lot of weight on it, and it is moving at a fast speed.
yeah.
You're
So
not going to stop it.
we got two questions here.
Yeah, let's get it.
So first question says, if you were new, how much would you invest at today's prices?
Everything.
In my perspective,
everything.
I told my dad yesterday, I was like, yo, dude, sell the house.
Everything.
Sell the house, retire in 2 months.
Guys, we're obviously kidding, but go ahead, Miguel.
No, so in my perspective, right now is not the moment to invest everything you've got or to invest a large portion of your capital. You can put in, maybe buy 1 ETH if that's a larger portion for you, and maybe double that when it hits 8K or so, right? You can still make some profits on that, but we are running on the later part of the bull run. So now if you're new and you're just getting in, now is the time to actually buckle down, learn, and count this as I've kind of missed the train. I might drop a few dollars here and there just to test out the waters, to get my feet wet with investing and seeing how the markets work, how to use the exchanges. But mark it up as a lesson to learn, right? About learning, and then really start grinding in the next bear market. Not at the beginning, a few months deep into the bear market when prices start to really get depleted. Then you start dollar cost averaging. Then you start accumulating heavy, aggressively buying to get ready for the next bull market.
And I want to throw out there, one of the hardest things to do, unless you are very well versed in the crypto market, right? And this goes for stocks as well. It is very counterintuitive to buy something at the point when everybody's talking bad about it, or nobody's talking about it at all, or the prices are just absolutely in the pits. Listen, it is counterintuitive, but please trust me, you've got to do it. Right? You literally need, and the reason that we say get educated is because if you're not educated and you don't have that understanding of what you're holding, of what's going to happen moving forward, you will tap out at some point if you don't have that understanding. On May 12th, I talk about it all the time. I woke up that morning with a 6-figure change in my portfolio, like that, right? And I got to tell you, that was a gut punch, right? But do you think that I sold? No, I did not. And I'm not patting myself on the back. What I'm telling you is
diamond hands, baby.
That ultimately, not even diamond hands. It was just that I knew this run was not over. But if I hadn't have been educated and known what the market was doing, what to expect, we've got to have a rebound, this, that, and the third. I mean, a lot of people did sold at some sort of a extreme. Now,
Oh,
listen, I
dude,
wouldn't have even been close.
we even had some big content creators.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not gonna drop names.
yeah,
Big
yeah,
content creators say I sold out of my position and took
yep,
massive losses
yep,
when Bitcoin was down at 20 at
yep.
28 30,000, thinking that the bull market was done.
Yep. And I ultimately want to just say that like I would have was nowhere near even with the 50% drop down at a loss. And so why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because if you can position yourself correctly in this next bear market to be in those shoes, right? Be in my shoes for the next run, it absolutely is a freeing feeling to get to a point where something devastating happens to your portfolio and you look at it and you say, I mean, that sucks, but I'm still about 15x up, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
It's rough,
exactly.
but you still see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it makes it easier to make those decisions to hold.
And everybody thinks that they're late to the game. Everybody thinks, well, I'm too late already, right? Ethereum's way too high. Well, I thought the same thing when I first got into ETH. I bought my first ETH at $283. I won't forget
Yeah,
that price point. That's when I bought my first, and it was in October 25th or so of 2017 at the
right,
later part of the bull run. I thought I was late. I bought in Ethereum, went all the way up to 1400. Obviously, I didn't know. I wasn't
right.
educated, and I wrote it all the way back down.
Yep.
I kept dollar cost averaging, thinking I was late. I was like, man, all these people bought at $8. They bought at $10. They bought
Yeah.
at $20. I
Yep.
saw it. I saw
Yep.
those prices, and I didn't buy it. I was
Yep.
around, and I didn't buy it. But yet,
Look where you're at now.
even though I was buying at $100, $400, $300, $600, look where I'm at now. Right?
Yep.
Same thing will be for you. The second question
Hey,
was, what was that?
I just want to real quick, just to make sure he stays on here. James, look at your email, brother. I emailed you. I emailed you yesterday. I just want to throw this out there while you're on here for sure. I'm going to answer your question in just a second, but I emailed you back. I just wanted to check on something with you from our seminar. So make sure you check your email tonight, brother, and email me back. I was kind of worried about you. I wanted to check on you. Go ahead, Miguel.
Yeah. So the other question that somebody asked was bear market ETH price, right? I think, a bear market would be about 2K, around that 2K price, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, give or take, right?
Yeah.
And that will sound high to you right now. But if you're buying ETH at 2K, 3K, and then we're talking about 100K ETH, there will be new investors when ETH hits 80 to 100K, and they're going to be saying, wow, look at these guys that were buying at 2 or 3K. These guys were geniuses.
Yep.
These guys had the will to do it, right? Oh man, what is it? Now I'm too late. And it's the same escalating moment. Everybody gets less, but depending on the price moments that you buy in, the price change will make you money in the long term. There's still lots of room to grow.
There is, and there will be a point at which, hey, this maybe just doesn't make sense. But here's the reality. What makes sense for me is going to be different than what makes sense for you. Not everyone is going to be able to 100, 200, 500,000x something. That's just not real life, right? There are people right now that are filthy rich because they bought Bitcoin. They could literally be not the smartest person in the world and just bought something at the right time. It doesn't mean that I am smarter than you or that Miguel is smart. I mean, Miguel's definitely not smarter than me, but so it doesn't mean that. It means that I had a belief in something at a point that ended up being advantageous for me. So let me answer what James asked. James said, would you dump your 10 ETH just to rebuy at the bear market low? James, ultimately for again, and we've talked about this, there's a lot of factors that weigh in there, but I will tell you what I am doing. For me, with where I am, I believe that I have too large of, because I believe with all of my being that we are going back down to 2K ish, whatever. I have too large. It's too huge of a run up to follow it back down. So for me, and I think this will be the last time, I will be taking a massive amount. I won't pull all the way out of my position, but I'll probably sell 75, 80% of my position to then buy back in. Now, this is risky, right? It's risky because I have enough accumulated that I could just sit on it and be fine, right? But the reality is, I feel that it's too large of a transition. If you believe that you need that, right? And again, we're not giving you financial advice or whatever. We're just talking about this. But I feel like if I felt that I needed that capital to do something, to achieve something that's going to make my life better, do it, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, what's life about, right? It's about ultimately enjoying the time that we have here. And if something like that allows you or helps you to do that, and you know that you're going to have an opportunity, or you feel that you will be able to capitalize on the opportunity to buy back in at a much lower price, listen, everything in life's a gamble, right?
Yep.
Do you know, taking that chance could absolutely turn out to be huge, especially if you have stuff that needs to be taken care of, or, you know, it could be kids, it could be whatever, it doesn't even matter. I think that it's definitely definitely something to
I thought,
look at.
according to your point, I honestly thought that the purpose of life was to just buy Bitcoin and ETH. I mean, outside of
Well, I
that,
mean, it is, but people got to kind of come around to that idea.
the
You know what I
metaverse
mean?
is coming, guys, and all that matters is how much Bitcoin and ETH you got. Everything else is irrelevant. People are gonna start getting digitized. People are gonna start becoming digital immortals out there.
That's right. That's right.
So,
So yeah, James, I mean, at the end of the day, you're saying if it's disposable cash, it makes sense. You could look at that both ways, man. You could look at it and say, well, it's disposable, so I'm not going to get greedy and I'm just going to sit around and let it sit because because I know what it's going to be someday. Or you look at it and say, hey, look, I truly believe this is headed back down. I want to ultimately take advantage of what I have in front of me. The reality is this. Let me make it this simple. If you had a crystal ball, the most advantageous thing you could ever do would be to buy the bottom, sell the top, buy the bottom, sell the top. Obviously, that's not real
yeah.
life, but it is. Now you have taxes in there and other things, right? I think
But don't be
ultimately
afraid of taxes. Don't be afraid of
right.
taxes.
The biggest goal, right, is to be able to get to a point where you're able to take loans against your assets so that you're not paying those capital gains, and be able to do that. But that's a whole nother level of
Yes.
investing. That's a whole nother step forward in this space.
And the purpose of selling your bags, right? Selling your bags of 10 ETH at the top and rebuying at the lows of the bear market is not just to get that cash, but it's to then double up your bags, because that's what whales do, right? They
Yep.
sold at 65,000 Bitcoin price point, right? They sold when Bitcoin dropped to 30, they bought back everything that they had just sold and kept some cash on the side, that
Yep.
which if they would have put in, or if they did put in, meant they doubled up their bags, their positions, right? And if you're
Yep.
trying to accumulate as much ETH as possible, because we believe, right now, financial advice, well, we believe that ETH might hit 100K by 2030, by 2025, somewhere within this decade, then we're trying to accumulate as much ETH as possible. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's only so much capital we have in real life that we can generate to invest at these price points.
Yep.
So the most advantageous thing to do is pulling out profits at the high and doubling up your position with your own profits. And
Yep.
you know, if you had 20 or 10 ETH, now you have 10, now you have 20, now you have whatever, and you're doubling up your position with the same profits that you've made, and you don't have to keep siphoning from your day job, or siphoning from, you know, other positions or other money you can use for other parts of your portfolio.
Yep. And then at some point, you'll get to the point where you'll say, you know what? I'm happy with where I'm at. I
I'm
believe where
rich,
this
I'm
is
out.
going, and yeah, I'm doing what I want to do at that point, right? Dave, we talk about this a lot. Dave said, you know, we make a lot of money in a bull market, right? You get rich in a bull market, but you create generational wealth in a bear market, and that really is, again, I want to remind you guys, it is counterintuitive to be buying when things are dun, 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 right? It's going to feel that way. You're going to be like,
Yeah.
man, should I be using this on something
Ev-
else? Because it makes
everyone
sense, and it makes sense. The feeling side of it, the emotion side of it, tells you to buy right now because it's going up and it's never going to go back down. That's how it feels. But guys, just take a breath, right? Wait, and when it does come back down, because it's going to, right? Now we can't say to what number or whatever, but at some point, at the very worst, even if we ran into what we consider super cycles or ran into just a total change, the reality is, if you can't, this is my opinion, if you can't look at our society in just the total world, right, and realize that something is going to happen at some point to give you the opportunity to buy low again, and that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, and that's why I'm gonna sell and then buy back, because I believe that even if I'm wrong about the cycles and they change, something is gonna happen and give us that 2020, March of 2020 opportunity. Guys, if you can't look at March of 2020 as an opportunity, then you might be in the wrong on the wrong ball field here.
Yeah, you haven't learned about investing enough yet. And what I was saying was, what I wanted to say was, to what you were saying is, people love chasing green candles. People love seeing something pump 300%. Say, now I'm going to jump on there because these people just made 300%, and I'm going to make 300% in the next couple of days. It doesn't work that way. Patience is a virtue that is not that people don't have enough of when it comes to investing. They let emotions get the best of them, and they're not patient. Yes, you might have missed out on a 300% pump right now, but wait, there will be an opportunity at some point, whether it's a week, 2 months, 6 months down the line, for you to capitalize on that dip, on that dump, on that crash, and put some money in, and then you could be making maybe a 300, 600% pump on whatever it is that you bought, right? So wait for that moment. Wait for those opportune moments. Don't chase green candles. Don't chase FOMO and hype, right? You could make a few dollars, but you're taking on more risk than the reward you're going to actually be making at that point. And investing is all about managing risk versus reward. So
that's an absolute fact. Managing risk, and that's what we do. We try to keep in mind here that we the education that we're delving out is to ultimately help you hopefully make better decisions, right? We're not telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, why to do it. What we're trying to tell you is, hey, if you can get yourself educated to a point where you truly understand what's going on, you can look at your own portfolio and say, this is what I need to do. And that takes time, right? So get yourself educated, guys. If you're in the live chat, please take 2 seconds, X out of the live chat, smash up a like for us. You can come right back in. We just would really appreciate that. If you are looking for more personalized, if you're looking for a community that's going to live through this bear market together and work through projects and ideas and things, debatecrypto.academy, we are here for you. We'd love to have you. And guys, if nobody's told you before today, I love you. Miguel loves you. I'm speaking for him, right? The DCA fam loves you. We hope you guys have a wonderful night. And until next time, hodl like it's hot. We'll see you soon.
ETH Gang.